Foster's Quarantine Corner.
Good morning, Cardinals. Today is Thursday, March 26th. I'm happy that you can join us for another episode of Mr. Foster's Quarantine Corner. For today's announcements, I'd like to direct them at the parents of our students. Parents, today I'm going to be sharing 3 helpful tips with you for how to monitor your students' internet usage. Tip number 1 is to set time limits on when your children can and cannot have their devices, such as after their bedtime when it's time to go to sleep, or also maybe during family time. Tip number 2 is keep their devices in public places where people will pass by them frequently and try to keep them out of their bedrooms. That way it's easier to see what they have on their screen and what sort of things they're doing, listening to, looking at, and watching. Tip number 3 is know your children's passwords and log in to their various apps and sites. And be sure to go into those sites and those apps frequently so that you can monitor what's being posted, what's being shared, and what's being seen. Today's joke of the day is from Henry in 3rd grade.
What's a hunter's favorite cereal? Bucky Charms.
Oh, that was a good one, Henry. Today's fun fact is brought to us by Mrs. Brunsfeld.
Hey Cardinals, Mr. Foster's post on how to make chili inspired me to make this daily fact post for you. I noticed that he did not put noodles in his chili, which I very much approve of. Being where I'm from, the Minnesota and Iowa area of the country, we never put noodles in our chili. If you put noodles in with beans and meat and sauce, we called it a hot dish, or sometimes a casserole. So that got me to thinking even more. And I had to do a little bit of research to find out what the difference between a hot dish and a casserole is. And really, there's no difference at all except the area of the country that you happen to be from. So if you're from Minnesota, you most definitely would probably call a dish like that a hot dish. If you're from North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and yes, even Wisconsin, you probably call things that have noodles and meat and a sauce a hot dish. But if you're from other areas of the country, more than likely you call it a casserole. One person that called into National Public Radio's show, A Way with Words, mentioned that a casserole is an experience versus a hot dish is just an adjective describing a casserole. So anyway, thought I'd share that fun fact with everyone and hope you're having a great day.
Thank you, Mrs. Brunsfeld. Hopefully this puts the chili versus casserole debate on the back burner for now. Today, Mrs. Quinnell has a very special message to share with all of us.
This is the story about how one person can make a difference. This is my family. This is my husband, John, and me, Mrs. Quinnell. This is my son, Alex, and his girlfriend, Carly. And this is my daughter, Abby, and her boyfriend, Justin. And this was obviously Christmas time at my sister's house. Tuesday, Abby had an idea. Abby heard that a lot of hospitals, including the one she works in, where she's a CNA, and who Mrs. Trowbridge's daughter is also the head of, she knows that they were running out of protective gear. And that we hear that a lot on the news now, that the doctors and nurses don't have the protective gear they need to treat patients. And so Abby was wondering what could she do to help with that. So she remembered that last time she was home, she had brought her sewing machine back to her apartment. And at Thorpe High School, Mrs. Swigum had taught Abby to sew. Abby's grandma and grandpa had bought her the sewing machine that she has for Christmas one year, and Abby figured out she knew how she could help. Since Abby wasn't working that day, she headed out for a very quick trip. She was mindful of social distancing and only went to one store to get what she needed. When she got home, she organized all her supplies and the sewing began. Abby created masks that hospital workers and her friends could use. The masks can be washed and reused. She found the correct fabric that she needed to purchase and a pattern to use. This is her first creation. Of course, she wanted them to look very cute. The little button on the bottom is her trademark. She even sewed the ties because the craft stores were out of elastic, because others have been sewing masks too. One person can make a difference. And when I was talking to Abby, she said, "Mom, at first I didn't think that I was going to be able to do it because it didn't turn out right the first time." So thinking of our mindsets that we've been learning about, we learn from our mistakes, never give up. She is a mask making machine, and I hope that you will think of ways that you can help during this very different time in our lives. It might be helping mom and dad around the house. It might be not being crabby when you get up, not fighting with your brothers and sisters, helping your teachers by doing your work at home. Never give up, and just know that you can make a difference.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Quinnell. I hope that all of you are thinking about ways that you can make a difference and bring a little bit of sunshine to people during this difficult time. Like Mrs. Quinnell said, if you can sew, you can create masks to donate to people. My kids have had a lot of fun writing letters and sending letters back and forth between cousins. I've also seen online people using sidewalk chalk to make positive messages to neighbors and friends. So there are a lot of creative ways that we can bring a little bit of sunshine to people's lives. And I hope that you all consider ways that you can be a part of that. So that wraps it up for this episode. Cardinals, make sure that you're staying safe, stay sanitized, and stay smart.
Mr. Foster's Quarantine Corner.